We're going to do the thing?
We're doing the thing.
We're doing the thing right now?
We're doing the thing.
Doing the things that we do?
You finally watched that movie,
I finally
didn't
watched
you?
that.
Oh, that thing you do.
Yeah, I'm just like, huh?
It's a good movie, isn't it? Really? You just
It's not my favorite. It was okay.
I love that movie.
Billy and I
like
love
the
that
music.
I love that movie.
I love the song.
It's just a feel good.
Should we say hi to the listeners first?
Hi, listeners.
Hi, listeners.
What? You don't like that movie?
I didn't say I didn't like it. It just wasn't up there in my top 100.
Wow.
Really?
That's amazing.
It's in my top 20, I think.
Yeah, seriously, mine too. I'm pretty sure of it.
I don't know. I
That
think
thing
Dirty
you do with
Dancing's in my top.
with Tom Hanks?
My top.
All right.
Oh, God.
See?
Leave. You're fired.
That's it.
You have no control to fire me whatsoever.
Yeah, I
Dan
know,
can't
but-
even fire
Oh,
me.
yeah, watch this. Your microphone's off. Try talking.
Nope, you can't have it. I don't share.
Okay. It's back on. Firing is over.
All right.
Are you sure you want to do that?
And
Give
you
me
are
back
back.
those Twizzlers.
Oh, well, let me turn on more microphones.
There you go. And you are back in the middle of monkey business, my dear friends out
Yes,
there in
we're
listening
sorry.
land. Holy
There's
moly.
only 3 of us today.
That's it. There's 3. There's Billy, Tanya, and I, your usual curator of the crazy.
What
We are
happened to
gonna
the
go
good
off.
old days when there's like 7 of us and people waiting in line for
I
microphones?
know, telling you, it was amazing. When
I
we were
think
like
they got
switching people
scared of
out.
us.
They did. I think they did.
We
Well, this is
we
the-
sent them all running.
This is the tail end of spring break, so I know a lot of people are still out and about.
Some are
And there's
doing
folks busy.
First sunny day and everybody just leaves.
You
I
know,
there's no even
more power to
lights
'em.
on up
Oh,
here.
do you want lights on?
No.
I
No, it's
I like the
perfect.
dark.
I got
so
plenty of daylight going
I
on
don't
right
even
now.
notice it sometimes.
No,
'cause
it's perfect because it makes it cooler in here because it usually gets really hot.
yeah.
So, sports fans, today we're recording.
Sports.
You're probably not going to be hearing that on the actual date, but I just want to let everybody know that we are recording right now on April 23rd of 2017, which is the first birthday of Flower City Comic-Con. It was 1 year ago today.
Woo!
Nice.
1 year ago today that
23rd
the
and
very
24th?
first show, the 23rd and 24th of April of 2016, the very first Flower City Comic-Con launched. And it's right a little afternoon right now. So
It's 12:09.
So it had been open for a couple
2
of hours
hours.
at this point, and people were
We hadn't
milling
gotten
around.
any sleep yet.
And holy cow, to go out into the lobby and see the throng of people waiting to buy tickets.
It was amazing.
I was blown away. It was amazing. That was that moment where I was like, wow, this is really happening.
You know, I didn't get through the lobby that often. I was in the VIPs and the vendor room floor. I did see Billy quite often. I did see Susan. But I was in that area for most of
Right.
the weekend anyway.
That was
Every so often I wandered through. But.
that was so much fun. We got to bring Susan and I had befriended artist Ken Lashley, so we
Right.
brought him to town.
Oh,
and-
he
and
was
spent
just incredible.
We spent the weekend with him. No, he came to town a day early to be on the radio, and we took him to lunch and to the Strong Museum of Play and to Broadway Theater and
Yeah,
just
you
got
saw Stomp.
We saw Stomp last
that
week.
man had probably the best vacation weekend ever.
He had a great time.
and,
So-
and he's just a capital human being, and he brought his daughters with him, and they're
And I
just
think they
absolutely
went to the
beautiful girls.
mall, the Galleria Mall
Yeah.
on the way back.
Yeah.
And actually, Ken mentioned to us that one thing he especially liked is we treated his family well, his daughters, without
They were adorable.
without fawning over him.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know we treated them as respectfully as we treated him.
Yeah.
So
And and that's easy because we all have families, and that's going to lead me to the topic of the day today. And I know I did not prep anybody. I wanted to throw it out and see what reactions were very organically because I've been sitting around thinking for the past 24 hours about this question in my head. Why are we doing this? Why have we created Flower City Comic-Con? Why? What was the purpose? Why did we do this? And so I'm going to go to Tanya because I threatened Tanya before we started
Thanks.
recording that she was going to be put on the hot seat. So Tanya, you were there. You were there at the very first meeting.
Yeah, we do this because there's nothing like this around where we bring all these different things together that's at home, that we don't have to travel. We're home. We're promoting Rochester. We're promoting the things that the city can do and people can do around here. It's to have fun. That's the thing. We wanted something that was family friendly, that people could bring their kids to, dress up, and just like be Halloween all weekend long.
All weekend long.
I mean, I love dressing up for Halloween. I love our Halloween parties and things like that. And I'm like, there should be more times for people to dress up and things like that. And I hadn't been to any Comic-Cons really prior to this, and it makes me want to go to New York Comic-Con and the San Diego Comic-Con and
Toronto Fan Expo
and,
things like
and
that.
Star Wars Celebration Orlando and all that, and it makes me like look at just the awe of the amazing costumes that the cosplayers put in and things like that, and just in saying, yes, we did this.
That's it. Billy, when you and Susan kind of started reaching out to us, what were you thinking?
Now, here's why I got involved, or why I think maybe we got involved in general, is because it gave us a chance to take something that we're passionate about, a hobby, and become proactive. And in terms of becoming part of it, not just passively observing our hobby, but proactively becoming part of it. And because I was originally contacted by Deanna when she just wanted to let me know, she's a listener of the Brother Wee Show. Hey, you like comic books and Comic-Cons, and we're doing this, and thought you'd like to know. And I took my experiences and mine and Susan's experiences and just sort of gave it, here's what I've liked about cons I've been to, and here's some negatives that I've seen other places do that I'd like you to avoid if possible. And you guys said, hey, why don't you help us and become part of it?
Yep.
And
I remember
that
that email that you sent us. I do remember that email vividly because Deanna was so blown away by the fact
like,
that you actually
emailed me back.
Billy
Of course,
responded.
I email everybody back, I think.
But
if I don't, if you're listening
sorry.
to it, I haven't, I'm sorry.
There you go.
But
Send me another one.
it just was something that I thought, hey, this is pretty cool. Let me tell them about what's, because I like telling people about the things I like and don't like. So
and then
that's why I'm
first,
on the radio.
And then, and then that first night that we sat down with you and Susan, and we really got to know you guys at one of our sponsors, Knox. And we had a wonderful evening just chatting. And what an absolute force of nature your wife is. Oh, she is so awesome. So
you know what? I'm just a little teeny tiny bit intimidated by her. Just a little bit.
Me too.
I'm just like, just that look that she gave me, like, you are going to do this. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Susan. Absolutely.
She calls it being adamant.
That's it.
When she gets like that, and then
she just exudes this confidence, and if I could just have an ounce of that, that'd be amazing.
So be adamant.
There you go. Be adamant, and I'm going to be
Not
adamant
to be
about my opinion on this. It was very easy to start putting the idea together once it was suggested to me. Actually, I'm not the one who kind of even created the idea overall, but a couple of us had been involved in other conventions in the past, and we'd seen the operations inside and out, and as much as somebody would declare that we learned from them, we really didn't. We didn't feel comfortable with that. We wanted to see what we could do, and we didn't feel like we were really being given that opportunity. And it was too much about, for lack of a better way, but it was too much about bottom line. There was always a very bottom line kind of an attitude, and that's not the feel. That's not that to me. That's not success. We said right in the very first meeting, we want to throw an absolutely amazing party. We want to throw a festival. We want people to come and have fun and be a part of things and feel like they've experienced something, and that stretches out to the vendors on the floor, to the guests who come to sign autographs, to the volunteers, to the staffers, to the people who buy the tickets. Everybody who comes to Flower City Comic-Con should be having a good time. It should be loose. It should be relaxed. Everybody should be kind of enjoying themselves. That is, to me, the most important aspect. Yes, it's a business. Yes, it's going to cost money. Yes, there's going to be tickets involved and all that other fun stuff. And it should become kind of one of those self-sustaining creatures on its own. The convention should just come alive and be able to take care of itself. That would be an ultimate kind of seriously. That would be an ultimate business plan. But nobody here is doing it because we're seeing dollar signs. There's nobody here doing it because we're expecting something in return. We're doing it because we love it. We're doing it because we want to see people having a good time.
And we want to share it with...
We want to share it.
Everyone that likes the sci-fi and the fantasy and the pop culture and the wrestling and the art and all that type of stuff.
And just as still sort of an outside, I'm part of your group, but you guys, you and Tanya and Deanna and Dan and Brian, you are the nuts and bolts of it. And I can't imagine how hard you work, because basically every 2 weeks you show up and I turn on some microphones and
you sit back and watch us.
And, and I get to talk a little, but you guys are working so hard that I appreciate that. I can't imagine how much stuff you're doing and how hard you're working.
We are all career people. We all have our own, 9 to 5 Monday through Friday job. And Tanya's a school teacher. I work for the city. Dan works for Paychecks. Brian works for Tops, etc. Deanna's working for RIT. We all have our 9 to 5 careers.
And as much as you want to make it fun, but there is a business aspect of it that all you guys are taking care of that I don't have to worry about. And you guys haven't overstretched yourself either in terms of budget. There's people that there's cons that are trying way too hard to you're organically trying to let this thing grow and be itself,
be consistent,
and not go from little hometown con to be the next New York City Comic Con by bringing in we're bringing in great guests without killing you guys in terms of budget.
We want to evolve, change, grow gradually. It's not something to jump, as you said, from a hometown show into something huge. But every year we want to bring something new in that people didn't see the year before.
There may be we're bringing in some really good guests, but you may see some conventions that are bringing in, the Chris Pratt or the bones of Leonard Nimoy, or
the bones of Leonard Nimoy.
Oh God,
that costs a lot of money.
It's the Michael Jackson con, the Elephant Man,
and you guys sort of are figuring this out. So in the future we can do that.
Yeah,
but for now we got a really nice lineup of folks.
I think we did a really good job of balancing it.
I am so excited. I was at a euchre tournament last night, and
how'd you do?
I didn't lose, but I didn't win. I won 2 games, lost 4, but scored 50
points. If you want to
points.
assure a loss in the tournament next year, I will be your partner, because when it comes to euchre, that's like my kryptonite.
Rotates every game, so you don't know who you're going to be playing with and against.
I am terrible at euchre.
But 2 of the people have been to other conventions around here that used to work with my husband, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we can't wait! It's coming up. Are you still working it?" I'm like, "Yeah." So they're like, "Oh, we can't wait," and whatever. And we're like, "Oh, okay." And they were so excited, and I dropped a couple more flyers on the social table last night. If they got recycled today, they got recycled today. But I at least wanted to put it out there to a whole new, different group of people that I don't see very often.
Yeah.
So it wasn't. But they were the ones that gave us the heads up, going, please have a grid type schedule. Please have this, because please have lots of things labeled. So we have taken everybody's feedback and tried to incorporate it, use it, adapt it to fix things that possibly were broken on our end last year to have it so it runs a little more smoothly this year, because there were people last year, as Chris has said in previous podcasts, that they thought this was our 5th or 6th year, and they couldn't believe that we were our first year. And they're like, they thought we were lying.
Last year, you guys did panels, and we had the 3 rooms, I believe.
Right.
And they were labeled. No, there were schedules up, and there may have been a little bit of confusion.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you,
I dropped the ball. He dropped the ball. We all dropped the ball.
It still came out way better. I went to another con where literally one of the guests was in a room you almost couldn't find, where it was down in the basement of the building. You had to make a bunch of turns. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, I've heard similar stories in other places.
And so just the fact you guys are figuring it out a day at a time, and you're doing a great job with it. And that was
one of the things that we said this year, more signage.
Yeah,
definitely
and we're going to
more
be
signage,
so
people
working on
can
that.
find the Starship simulators, which I think everyone found that last year.
Yeah,
except for
the bridge
us.
simulator. Yeah, well, we knew where it was. We just didn't have the time to do anything with it.
We didn't get in there because
we're going to talk about
we're supporting all the guests. Yeah. But to find the game room, to find the panel room, to find where the meetups are, to find just in general the bathroom.
Yeah. Which was important.
Yes, especially for people who need to fix their costumes and things like that, and kids in the quiet room and all that type of stuff.
And you both kind of touched on something that has been it's been very important to us, is we are not afraid to learn. We're not afraid to take the hit and say, okay, we did make that mistake, and you know what? We're going to work on that. Or, there's been actually a couple of occasions where we've been told, hey, you've made a mistake. And we're like, yeah, we know. And we're going to make it again because this is how we want to run the show. When we talked about we've talked about the vendor floor. And I've actually been, somebody listened to our podcast about how we're handling the vendor floor and wanted to challenge me on that.